Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sharon, and this is Classy Shades Designs. So in today's video, I want to share with you guys the build that took us a year to do. I love those deer. The first thing we had to do was dig, and we signed our documents on our house in January the 9th to be exact. But we weren't able to start because of the frozen ground, because of all the work, until April 1st. So every day I went to this lot to check out to see what was going on. I think I got on my husband's nerves and probably the contractor's nerves, but it later proved that it was needed for me to go out there every day. In order for us to get moving, we had to bring in mounds and truckloads of dirt. I think he said we had to bring in 40 truckloads in total because the ground was so fresh and virgin, it just would not hold up the walls when we were trying to dig the basement in. So we finally bit the bullet and bought in the dirt so that we could get this project moving. And as soon as we got started, it was rainy season. So April 8th and on, it had so much rain, so much water happening that it was actually causing trouble. I kept teasing that we had the world's most expensive swimming pool. But the rain was so heavy at one point in time that it actually caused some of the walls to collapse. And so I shouldn't say the walls, the mountain of dirt wall to collapse. So you can see a little bit here that there was a little mudslide going on, but the walls were solid enough that it didn't damage anything. So coming out weeks later, because you see April 8th to April 25th before they could come back out and work, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that the basement decking had been added along with the window well. I personally wanted to go across those rocks and look at it, but my mom was like, you better not before you get hurt. So I had to stoop down and look through the window well to see that the basement framing had gone in as well. I brought my husband back out a couple days later to show him what had gone on, and we were surprised to see that not only was the concrete poured, but the rough end plumbing had been done as well, and it was looking very nice. Now when we got to this stage, our builder had warned us to not be alarmed because it would look much smaller than what it was, what it would actually be, how big the house would actually be. And to be honest with you, I was a little concerned at this point because this was looking like we had built a barn. Then it was time for the framing. And I'm telling you, these framing crew, in 1 week's time, they were so awesome. They had perfect, beautiful weather. The sun was shining. Everything was pretty. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. And they were able to get that framing work put up and done, structurally sound. And every day that we came out, we were pleasantly surprised that they were doing more and more. And they did these framings manually. This didn't come in with prefabbed frame. They put it together on site. And needless to say, this is when this place really started to shape up and start to look like a house to me when the windows and the roof were put on. I was so excited when I came over and saw that the windows that I had ordered, because you know when you do this, you never know if things are going to look right because you're looking at pamphlets, you're looking at examples and flyers, but to actually see them in person, I was impressed and I was really, really happy. I'm hoping and was secretly hoping that the siding would match it. So once the framing and siding was done, it was then time for the trades to come in and put in the hot water and cold water lines. They also came in and ran the plumbing and the sump pump and the ejector pump, along with the heat and HVAC, which took 3 weeks to do, slowed us down. But then it was time for me to run the network wiring. And this was my bright idea to save tons of money, which we did. But 4 days worth of climbing on rafters and putting in speaker wires and running all these wires. And we ran about 65 wires. I was exhausted, but it was done. And at $150 a pop, we saved a lot of money. Then the siding came on, and it was so beautiful to me, you guys. It's exactly what I was looking for. But on the inside, they were doing the drywalling, and they were hanging it everywhere, which these guys were really fast too. And kudos to the crew who could walk around on those tall stilts, because they were amazing. And they also got the mudding done on the inside during the same time frame. Once that was done and mudded, they came in to paint and spray the ceilings. And we were starting to move along again, or so I thought. It was looking so pretty. I thought this was primer. It was like this really beautiful creamy color. I didn't realize that, oh my God, look at this fireplace. This is not what I wanted. But we'll go back to talk about that in a minute. I didn't realize that this creamy color was the actual paint. This was entirely wrong. I did not ask for canary yellow. I'd asked for a subtle gray. And the fireplace was not supposed to be put up until I had given the final word, because I don't like the grout. It was horrific to me. I really was about to be in tears, but the builder said, don't worry about it. We'll tear it down. We'll fix it. We'll fix the paint. They were really good to work with when it came to those things. And I just needed to come in after everything was corrected and start installing the speakers, the sound controllers, and all of the cameras throughout the house and outside. Once those things were done, then all the fine trimming was time to start going in. We saw carpet being laid, the flooring were done, they fixed the fireplace, they fixed the paint. Look at how much prettier that is compared to that hideous thing we saw just a little bit ago. Cabinets went in, the bathroom cabinets and everything started going in, and this thing really started to shape up. All that was finished was for the bricks to be on the house out in the front and the concrete to be poured, both the driveway and the sidewalks. And then it was time for us to sign the papers and call it home sweet home. So now I want you to join me as I transform this space and make it ours. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. So I know I said that we had done this. It took us about a year. We actually started looking and building June 1st of 2019. And the first plot of land that we were supposed to buy, the deal fell through. And so we kind of had to start everything over. And that's why I say it took us about a year and a half, because we had started, you know, when you're financing and you're looking to build, you can't buy anything. So we lived a year of being locked up and not being able to move freely. But we're done, and now we're home. We have a lot of things, a lot of videos that I want to show you, because we did a lot of work ourselves. We finished the basement. I recorded all of that stuff. Some of the times throughout doing the work at the house, like putting the wires throughout the house, I wanted to grab the camera and start shooting, but it was actually a lot of work, a lot of delayed. My stands were all in storage, and so I didn't get to film as much that I wanted, but I did take pictures, which is why I was able to add those into the video. But we're home, we're happy. I love the space. I'm working on creating and making it my own space to add my classy shade design to it, if you would. But all in all, it had been a tremendous learning experience, especially when the original land deal fell through. Very disappointed in that. Actually ended up having to take the sellers to court to even get my earnest money back. Spent out a lot of money in getting appraisals and all those things done that the court did not give me a warning to. But we're just kind of like, we're going to wipe that slate. We're going to let things go and wipe off on that. But I'm telling you, if you are ever in the market to build a house, or you want to build a house, I could give you hours of things to look out for, things to watch for, things that we didn't know and no one shared with us. Would I build again? Probably not. But now that I know what is all involved, I can definitely know what to look for and watch for, and what to expect. So now we're learning our spaces, like what's the cold room, what's the warm room, and I'm just having a good time. I am so grateful to my mom because we sold our house that we had before. It sold in one day. And so we were needing a place to go, and we had not planned on packing up everything and having to move. We had this like perfect plan on how everything would work to structure it out, right? That perfect plan got wadded up and thrown away when our house sold and we needed a place to go. And my mom was like, come here, the more the merrier. So we spent 6 months living with my mom, which was phenomenal. Nobody cooks good like your mom does. And I enjoyed that whole time there. But I'm glad to be in my own space, and I'm glad to be at home. And I can't wait to create more content for you. So I hope that you enjoyed what I was able to wrap up in 10 minutes of my life that took a year and a little bit over. And I will see you in our next video. And remember, stay classy. Bye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and thumbs up. See you later.